David grew up in rural Sweden, tiny village. Population like 300. His family owns this cabin deep in the forest, surrounded by pine trees and mossy rocks. It's the kind of place where you don't hear anything but the wind and the occasional bird. Super peaceful until it wasn't. David's always been the outdoorsy type. Hunting, hiking, fishing. He loves being out in nature. A few years ago, he took a solo trip to that cabin in early autumn. Just him, his gear, and the trees. It was meant to be a weekend of disconnecting from the digital world. No signal, no Wi-Fi, no stress. The first night went fine. He made a fire, cooked some sausages, had a couple of beers. Nothing out of the ordinary. But the next morning, he decided to hike deeper into the woods than he ever had before. Just exploring. About 2 hours in, he said, the forest got weirdly quiet. Like unnatural quiet. No birds, no wind. Just his own footsteps crunching the leaves. Then, he found this. In the middle of a clearing, half covered in vines and moss, was a stone staircase. Not stairs leading to a building. Just stairs. Freestanding. Made of large stone bricks, worn down with age, crumbling a little at the edges. It looked ancient. Like something you'd find in a castle ruin. Except there was nothing else around. No foundation. No walls. Just steps leading up to absolutely nothing. David's a rational guy. He figured it was part of an old hunting tower. Or maybe a church that had long since collapsed. Still, it didn't make sense. There were no ruins nearby. No signs of anything ever being built there. He took a few pictures with his phone. Then, against every horror movie instinct, he decided to climb it. And here's where it gets messed up. He steps onto the first stair, and he says it felt cold. Not like touching stone. Like stepping into a different temperature entirely. The air shifted. He keeps climbing. Second step. Third. Each step heavier. Like the air itself was pushing against him. By the time he gets to the top, the 13th step, he realizes he can't hear the forest anymore. Not even his own breathing. Then, everything around him just changed. The trees were the same, technically. Same types, same shapes. But the color was off. Like someone had drained the saturation. Everything was this dull, lifeless, gray, green. The sky? Almost white. No sun. Just this glowing fog above the trees. No birds. No insects. No sound. He looked down. The staircase was gone. Behind him? Just forest. He spun around, confused, starting to panic. He called out. Hello? No echo. No answer. He took a few steps forward, and that's when he saw the figure. About 50 feet away, standing behind a tree, was someone or something. It looked like a person at first. Tall, thin, but its arms were way too long, and the head tilted at an unnatural angle, like it had no bones. It didn't move, just watched him. He couldn't make out a face, just this blank, pale oval where a face should have been. David bolted. He ran through the trees, heart pounding, trying to find anything that looked familiar. But it all looked the same: flat colors, fog, silence. After what felt like an hour of running, he tripped and hit the ground hard. When he looked up, the staircase was there again, just standing alone, waiting. He didn't even think. He sprinted up the steps. 1, 2, 3, and when he hit the top step, everything snapped back. Birds chirping, wind in the trees, normal colors, normal sky. He was back. But here's the kicker. His phone said it had only been gone 20 minutes. He rushed back to the cabin, locked the doors, and didn't sleep a second that night. The next morning, he left. Didn't even stay the full weekend. When he showed me the photos he took of the staircase, the weirdest part, they were gone. Every photo he'd taken that day, gone from his camera roll, like they were never there. He told his uncle about it a few months later, who just nodded and said, "Yeah, don't go too deep in those woods, the forest remembers." And apparently, there's an old folk tale in the region about staircases in the woods being remnants of places that once were, or portals to places that shouldn't be. The local name for them loosely translates to the forgotten steps. And get this, David's not the only one. There are threads online. People from all over, Appalachia, northern Canada, even Romania, talking about finding stairs in the woods. Sometimes wooden, sometimes stone, sometimes pristine, other times ancient. But the stories? Always similar. If you climb them, sometimes you don't come back the same. Or at all. So, if you ever find a staircase in the middle of nowhere, freestanding, not leading anywhere, don't climb it. Because whatever's waiting at the top might be watching from the bottom next time.